What's up, guys? It's MamaDeadHead, and I wanted to have just an actual discussion on thoughts after the season 5 finale of Fear the Walking Dead. Obviously, my afterthoughts video is just me sobbing, and putting up that video is kind of like half joke, but like, I mean, that's honestly what, if I tried to talk, like, I didn't even have thoughts in my head, like, I was just devastated after the finale, so, half joke, but honestly, that's what it was like. It is sometime around 5 on Sunday, so I haven't watched the live viewing yet. I watched the episode on AMC premiere on Friday night, essentially as soon as it came up, maybe like a few minutes later, but as soon as I could. So I haven't seen the live viewing. I haven't seen any like interviews after the fact with anyone. I haven't seen The Talking Dead, so like Morgan's fate is like truly up in the air for me. One thing that I want to say is, even though the live viewing hasn't happened, I do have friends that, you know, like have AMC premiere and whatnot, and I've had so many people reach out to me and ask, like, hey, are you okay? Which is just, like, the sweetest thing. Thank you guys so much, but no, I'm not. So, send me ice cream and brownies and cupcakes. Man, it's a lot. So, I'm just gonna talk about when everything went bad. Let's just talk about when everything went bad. And sorry if I'm, like, shaking or doing whatever. I'm ADHD. And I'm probably gonna, like, smile and laugh throughout this, but it's, if you guys know me, you know it's a coping mechanism, and I'm very much, like, actually distraught over this TV show. Which I know is just a TV show, but this character just means the world to me. So, when talking about when everything went bad, in my reaction, I might say some, like, conflicting things because I'm confused about something. When Morgan did his, like, little speech of the all of us or none of us to Virginia, and in my head, that was, you take us all to the same place, but upon watching it back, I realized that, he didn't mean, like, all to the same place. He just meant, you're not killing anyone. You're gonna take everyone. They've obviously watched the tapes to know who is important to who, and that could either be, like, detrimental to Virginia or to the people that they split up. The only people that did not get split up are Alicia, Wes, and Strand, and I think that is probably going to be, like, a pioneering group. And I don't mean, like, with the new group. I mean, like, pioneering a way out of the situation type group, because they are together. And I guess we can thank Strand for that, because whatever he said with Virginia made him seem, I guess, exactly what she wanted, which we know Strand can do that. So because of what he did, he was able to take Alicia and Wes with him. So Alicia and Wes, I don't know if I said that right. Anyway, out of everyone that was separated, aside from the obvious glaring couple that you guys know I've just been insane over, the one that really gutted me, okay, Skidmark and Daniel, that just made me angry. That just made me, like, really angry. That didn't make me, like, crying, upset, like, devastated type gutted. That just made me angry. The one that made me really gutted, sorry for all the ums and whatever it's gonna be in this. Like I said, it's super informal. Sarah and Wendell. I love those two so much. And out of everyone, I think that everyone else could probably, like, function a little bit better without each other. But I think that Sarah and Wendell, like, need each other. Like, they're twins. You don't need to separate twins. Please don't separate twins ever. and they were separated. Their goodbye. I didn't even have any words in my reaction for that. I'm pretty sure I just sat there like, because I was really upset. Now, I've already talked about Strand and Alicia being together, but there was like one other light in the darkness instance, and that was when the doctor called over the walkie and said that it wasn't radiation. Grace was pregnant. Now, I had this conversation with a few people before that I didn't think what she was going through was radiation. Now, granted, I don't know a lot about radiation poisoning, how all that works, but the way that she was just up and down, up and down, up and down was just really weird. I would think in my head, now again, I don't know anything about radiation poisoning, but when I think of it, I think of like longevity sickness, so she would progressively get sicker. I guess it can affect people different ways, you know, whatever could happen. I still haven't done any research on it, but just specifically her symptoms were odd to me, and I discussed with a few people, could this just be like the way that her body is responding to dehydration? I mentioned that growing up I dealt with being a hypoglycemic, which is like low blood sugar, which she had mentioned, and I would have like mild seizures when I was in like middle school. Like I would really be out of it because of low blood sugar. But I was kind of thinking it was something like that. Her being pregnant makes so much sense. It really makes so much sense, because a lot of people, when you think about pregnancy, you think about like a beautiful big belly, like a glowing woman, like radiance. And when I was pregnant, I was miserable, and I was just like Grace. I could be like fine, you know, doing whatever 1 second, and then just like bam, like I am hit. I'm like laying in bed. I am done for. And a fair amount, I was just on bed rest because I had hip issues. Like I had a lot going on during pregnancy. I don't want to be pregnant again. I want to adopt. I don't want to be pregnant again. I love Athena, but I think it would be kind of unfair to her to go through all of that and like it hinder, you know, me being a mom. And I can see that with Grace now, especially in the apocalypse, especially if she didn't know she was pregnant. Her being 3 to 4 months pregnant, I'm sure that some people are going to come out after this episode and be like, she should be showing already. No. I did not show until about 27 weeks. And at about 27 weeks, I just had like this size stomach. And then after that, I got bigger. But yeah, no, she definitely doesn't have to be showing. I think I have pictures up on my Facebook of me like at 20 weeks and 25 weeks where I was just like completely flat. Like I had no bump whatsoever. So it really truly depends on the person. And with her not knowing, I mean, wow. And then of course, is she and the baby gonna be okay with all the radiation that she was exposed to? Because that can be a whole storyline in itself. That's just insane. Now, Morgan. As of now, not having seen, like, you know, any after the fact sources of any information, in my heart, but I'm a Morganite, remember, in my heart, I want to say that he's alive. Because if he was meant to die in this scene, of course I'm going to be, like, upset. This is my favorite character, but I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing depending on what comes out of it. In my heart, I want to say that he's alive, because if he was meant to be dead, sorry if this is like a bit all over the place, if he was meant to be dead, then that second shot Virginia put out would have killed him. The fact that he did not die with that second shot, and there was that moment for both of them of like, oh my god, like that just happened. It makes me think that he will make it. But also at the same time, it's like he is really bleeding out. Like there's blood all over his chest area. Like it's just like, it's a lot. And there are walkers coming towards him, and we don't know if he can walk. Now, I think John was shot in like a similar place, and he was able to survive, but Morgan doesn't have anyone. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe this draws a picture of him being okay. I know that like Saturday or like early Saturday morning, like, you know, through the night, because I didn't sleep very well, some of my initial thoughts were, or I had some people that had seen, you know, on AMC Premiere with me, and they were talking to me like, well, this is like a great setup of like Morgan could be rescued by CRM, you know, this could be a thing. This has been like a common theory that people have wanted to happen in the last episode, is Morgan and Grace be taken by CRM. But obviously that didn't happen. And my initial reaction to that was, and I know this is going to be a bit much for some people, but forget Rick Grimes. Like, Grace is so special. She's so incredibly special to him. It got him to talk about his family, got him over his, like, starting to get over his past and, like, wanting to start over with her. And you know that he would accept this child. It, like, he would just love that child just like it was Dwayne, you know? So it's kind of like, I don't care if he gets reunited with Rick Grimes right now, because while him and Rick Grimes have, like, argue with me on this all day, they have one of the most important and substantial relationships in The Walking Dead history. Without Morgan, there would be no Walking Dead, because there would be no Rick Grimes. Morgan has saved countless people. Like, so much would be different if Morgan Jones was not in this story. And I appreciate that they have that friendship, and I want them to be together. They deserve that. That needs to be a thing in the Walking Dead universe, that at some point they reunite, because they always find each other. But the thing is, most of the time that Rick and Morgan have been together, they have been on just absolute opposite ends of, you know, how their minds work. And they disagree with each other, which isn't a bad thing, because on top of that disagreement is a massive respect that they have for one another. They can be so, like, opposite, it's insane, but they will have that, like, rock hard respect at the end of the day, which is what makes them so special. But what makes Grace and Morgan so special is that she fully gets him. She understands him. She is the person that made him, like, nobody could do that. Grace made Morgan want to stay. Like, Rick couldn't even do that for him, you know what I mean? So this is just my point of view, that at least I want, like, a little bit of happiness for Morgan, because people can say all they want to about, he's annoying about the all life is precious, he needs to fight people, which he will absolutely fight people if he has to, he just doesn't want to. But all the calls that he makes is for the good of people. And I know that for some people that can be annoying, but that shouldn't mean that he doesn't deserve happiness. And that's what I was just so mad about on Friday, was that we have this person that is just so good, but all of his story ends in, like, some sort of, like, tragic, brutal mess. And it's not fair. And part of me just doesn't understand how they can come back on 601 and, like, kill him, because what would it be, like, him bleeding out and being eaten by zombies? That would be, like, the absolute worst thing to wait for. But, I mean, I guess it could happen. And then I guess last, what I'll leave you guys with is the fact that the showrunner said that the end of 5 was really going to set up for 6. And that is absolutely 100% true. The reason why I say that's absolutely 100% true is because all of our people were just separated. And chances are most of them are going to be going to different communities. I don't see them only focusing on, like, they come back for season 6 and it's all about Daniel. Chances are we're going to see a lot of many different communities within this Key to the Future, and we're going to figure out whatever connection they have to CRM, because at the sound of what Virginia said to Althea, she could either know and she wants to know who the mole is that told Althea information, or she's seen the helicopters and she knows about them and she wants more information on them. But either way, she definitely knows about the helicopter community. So this is definitely expanding in a very huge way, to where even if Morgan doesn't make it, which, oh my God, if he doesn't make it, like, I'm gonna, like, relive hell all over again in 601. But, Jesus Christ. I can see how this group just went from, like, this little itty bitty dot down here, like, not really substantial or, like, huge within the universe, to, like, expanding, like, all of Texas, basically. So I'm interested to see where it's going. I'm interested to see, obviously, what happens with Morgan. Grace better have this baby, and Morgan better be with her. They better be a happy couple. I don't know, man. I'm still, like, I know that I'm going to watch this tonight, and I know that I'm going to cry. But I guess I wanted to have a discussion with you guys. So I know that, especially some of the, like, Rick Morgan talk might be, like, a very unpopular opinion, but I welcome all opinions here as long as you're respectful. And comment down below if you have anything you would like to add to this conversation. But yeah, that's gonna be all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, positive thoughts and some positive vibes. Bye guys.